Hey guys, Troy with Mountain Man Treasure, and I owe you a thrift haul.
Mountain Man
Treasures.
Okay, so here in the last couple days, went to a couple of thrift stores, and but I think we pulled out some winners out of those, and a couple of things that maybe you don't know to look for. So we're gonna go over those real quick. I already showed you in the last video the Spirit Halloween thing, which turned out to be a little bit of a bust, but it's still a bolo in terms of the brand, right? Keep an eye out for old Spirit Halloween stuff. So that's number one. But we got some other stuff, and we got stuff that actually wasn't broken. Got two of these. This is the Big Book of Peanuts, all the daily strips from the 1970s. Now, this is not a book from the 1970s. This is published in 2013. But this book is huge. It is brand new. I flipped the spine is very tight. There's no bent pages, anything. I mean, this is fantastic. And if you look, they divide it by year, and they just put up all the comic strips. It's pretty cool. I got this for $4, and I got also the 1980s. I think they made one for multiple decades, but I got the 70s, I got the 80s. You look up the comps on these things. These were both $4 a piece. You look up the comps, and they're really good. I wouldn't go as far as to call these rare. This one actually may be. There's only a couple listed. The one from the 70s, there seems to be more for whatever reason, because like I said, these are not old books. This one is from 2014. And maybe they're just not up for resale. People get these and they want to keep them. So I don't know. This one, there's only a few listed, but the sell-through rate is really good. Same thing on the other one. So not necessarily rare, but definitely uncommon, and the sell-through rate is very good. So I think on the one from the 70s, I think we're looking at about $20. This one, we might get more. We might get somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 potentially. We'll wait and see. But these are definitely more than $4, and they can go medium mail, which is good because they weigh almost 5 pounds a piece. These are very thick books, but yeah, keep an eye out for Peanuts stuff. The Big Book of Peanuts. These are good grabs. Something else that we got that's a good grab. This is a big toaster. This is a Cuisinart Total Touch Electronic. Plugged it in, and actually, hold on. Okay. Whoa. Okay, that happened. We're back. Bloopers included in this episode. Yeah, you plug it in, you can see right on there. It's kind of cool. You can adjust lighter and darker on what you're toasting right there on the deal. You can see the electric display. You can change bagel, defrost, reheat. I mean, it's a toaster, right? But it's Cuisinart. You look on the bottom, and somewhere on the bottom, there we go, there's a model number, okay? I don't know if that's coming through, but this is a Cuisinart toaster, CPT-60. Look those things up. They don't sell necessarily quick, okay? So this is not going to move very fast. But there are 2 listed, and there are 4 sold. So that's a good sell-through rate. Now, the sell is, I mean, it's like 1 a month kind of. It's very slow, but they sell, and people do buy these. And the ones that are listed right now are like, I'll put it up there, but it's like 60, 70 bucks. This one, not necessarily in as great a shape as those. There's a couple of scuffs here on the buttons. The inside, I'm going to have to see if I can figure out. I mean, it's not like filthy. But it works just fine. I tried it out this morning. But the little slots where the bread or the bagel or whatever is going to sit in there, they're a little bit worn. So I got to see if I can find a way to effectively clean that to bump the price up a little bit. But I think I could sell it even like this. If I just give it a surface cleaning, we could put it up for 40, 50 bucks. I got this for $3. So this was a fantastic pickup because this thing, while big and bulky, is going to sell in the next few months, especially if I undercut those by enough that they're okay with it not looking perfect. So keep an eye out for Cuisinart. And the last thing that I got from that little thrift store is this thing. This is Pyrex. If you look at the top, how cool is that? That is really neat. I saw it sitting there. She actually hadn't priced it yet, and I waited while I was looking at other stuff to listen because I knew it was coming up and she was going to price it and put it out on the floor. And so I was listening for when they did, and she put a tag on it, $3, and I snatched it up. So this is Pyrex. Some Pyrex is desirable, some is not. But I had an idea that just because this kind of looked mid-century modern type, that this would be one of them. So I looked it up. There's a number on these. Just like, well, that just says Pyrex. There we go. This is 25C30. That's not what I looked up, though. I looked up the number on the bottom. What was it? Now I got to find it. Okay, here it is. It's 475B. So I looked up the 475B Pyrex, and once again, really good sell-through rate. Now this, the actual casserole dish, it's a 2-quart casserole dish. This is in fantastic shape. I can't find any cracks. I can't find any chips. There are a couple on the lid. There's a very slight one where somebody caught it on a corner and we lost a tiny little chip there. And then there is one inside. I'm trying to find it. Yeah. This, I think it's a vintage chip. So there's one in here on the little lip on the inside. So that's unfortunate, but I don't think it destroys the value of this. So I put it up high. I priced it high. You can see I'll put the listing over there because this one is already listed. And I think I got a watcher on it already, actually. So keep an eye out for Pyrex. Now, the standard designs, they might not sell. But the different ones like this is the first time I've tried Pyrex, but this is one I was willing to give it a shot on because for $3, why not, right? So this could be the best moneymaker of that lot of stuff that I picked up. I'm really excited. Now time to move on to the Goodwill portion of our thrift haul. The first thing that I picked up there were these, and they're a little unassuming, right? They look like, I mean, if you just saw them, you might walk by them thinking they're Crocs, right? Or Croc knockoffs, whatever. But these are Hoka. Hoka 11 is the brand. They make pretty high-end running shoes. They also make these. These are not just basic slides. These are recovery slides is what they'll be called if you look up Hoka recovery slides. The sell-through rate on these is ridiculously good. And somebody at Goodwill caught on because they had these tagged at $19.99. The good news is this was blue tags were half off this week. So these were half off. I got them for $10. And these will sell pre-owned for $30 to $35 plus shipping. So these are really good, quick seller. I think I ended up paying about $34. I'd have to look at the receipt. I think I walked out of there paying $34. These will basically pay for the whole trip. You know, you got to take out fees and all that. So not exactly, right? And then the cost of goods on these. So not exactly that these are going to pay, but basically these slides pay for everything that you're going to see that I picked up. So keep an eye out for Hoka, both running shoes and the recovery slides. Something else we picked up were, well, you know what? We're going to hang on to those first. The next thing that I picked up, these are fairly basic. These are Asics. But once again, it's January. People are starting to get back in the gym, right? They're making their resolutions. It's lose weight time. So people are back in the gym. Running shoes are going to start selling. At least that's what I'm hoping. These are the Fuse X Lite is what these are. In really good condition. The foam isn't all banged up. The soles, you know, the bottom, it doesn't look like they were actually worn a whole lot. They were worn, but they weren't beat up. And on the fly knit stuff, there's no snags in it or anything. So these are really solid shoes. These were, let's see how much we paid for these things. These were, well, they were $5.99, but it's a blue tag. So we got them for $3. And these will sell, depending on condition and size, and that I'll have to do exact comps on them. But the condition is good, so I just have to see what others are charging for these particular shoes. But anywhere between about $25 and $40. So that's a fantastic turnaround on a pair of $3 shoes. Something else that we got that you might not know about here. Another blue tag, as it turns out. These were $6.99. These, you walk past them, you think they just look like the mall walking shoes, right? They just look super basic. The brand is Drew. These are diabetic shoes. These have special soles in them for people with diabetes or pre-diabetes. These particular shoes, they're women's shoes, size 7.5. Like I said, I got them for, let's see, $6.99, so I got them for $3.50. And these shoes, now these are going to be slower. I know I'm going to hang on to these for a while, but that's okay because brand new, these shoes cost $150, $155. There's not great sell-through on them, but they do sell. It's just you got to wait for the, I mean, like with any shoes, you got to wait for the person that needs them and then the person that needs them in the size that you have. So I'm going to hang on to these for a while, but I'll have to look at comps. My guess is used. I can sell these for $35, $40. Probably relatively easy. I mean, I can just undercut everybody because I paid $3.50 for them, right? So I think these are going to move at some point, but keep an eye out. And there's some that are worth more and there's some that move faster. So again, these are Drew, but don't disregard these diabetic, pre-diabetic shoes because they will sell. Something else that we picked up, a pair, I did get two of them, yeah. These are Adidas. You can see the D on there. A lot of times you see the autograph in these and you can never read it. If you don't know what it is, you can't figure out who in the world belongs to these shoes, who is sponsoring these shoes. Well, these are Damian Lillard are these shoes. And they look pretty cool. They've got the cool tongue on the side, right? That it's kind of not symmetrical. It's got an asymmetrical look to it, which is pretty cool. You don't see that a lot. They're in good condition. The soles, you can tell that they were worn, but they weren't beat up. These, once again, blue tag, $5.99. So we got these for $3. They're a size 8, so a little small, but when you get them for $3, that's, you know what, let's take a shot on them. They're a little bit older, I think. I can't see on that one because the sticker is over the top of it. These are from 2017, and you can look these up. Like I said, sometimes you don't know what that is, so it's like, how do I look these things up? Well, there's a tag inside of these, just like Nike. You can look up, it's the 6-digit number and then a dash and then a 3-digit color code, essentially. Adidas have the same thing. It's an art number. So this one is, it's buried in there because it's not on the tongue. It's a BB8271. So you type in Adidas BB8271 and up pop these. There's 6 or 7 listed. I think only 1 sold. So again, something that doesn't necessarily have great sell-through rate, but what I got going for me is that every single one of these pair that are listed right now are in new condition. And that means that there are none of these listed right now that are less than like $70. So I can come in, undercut all those with a, you know, there's wear to them, but as I said, they're not beat up. So I can come in and put a pair of $50 shoes on there, undercut everybody, and somebody that just wants a pair of these shoes in good condition is going to buy mine. So I'm pretty excited about these. I think they're going to do really well, and we only paid a few bucks for them, and the turnaround eventually is going to be really nice. Now, the last pair of shoes that we picked up, I owe Chris Chernock for these because I watched on his channel. I've said it before, the guy knows all about shoes, all about Adidas, but he knows a lot about all sorts of other kinds of shoes. And I was watching a video on his channel, and how much do you think these are worth, guys? These are New Balance, right? They look like New Balance dad shoes, kind of, right? They just look like your basic jogging shoes. Nothing, there's nothing that fancy about them. You know what's different about these, though, other than the bottom, which that's kind of cool. It's got like this inset thing right here. I've not seen that before. But what's different about these, you look on the tag, and these are made in the USA. I learned from watching Chris's channel, watching one of his videos, that there is a market for made in the USA New Balance specifically. I don't know why, though I do actually really like New Balance shoes. They're super comfortable, but there's a market for made in the USA New Balance. Some of them going for really good money used. There are actually none of these listed right now. Of the 851 is what these are. None of these are listed right now, but I messaged Chris after I got them, and there were exclamation points involved of, you need to pick those up. Not because they're huge money or anything, but because there is a market for them, and he knows that. Now, these were $7.99. So I did pay up for these a little bit. But when you balance out with all the other shoes that I bought, like I said, these basically paid for the whole thing. So, you know, I'm not worried about paying up for a pair of these shoes. These, Chris said he believes will sell for between 50 and 60 bucks. So how about that for a pair of old dad New Balance shoes, 50 or 60 bucks. So keep an eye out for made in the USA New Balance, because people are out there looking for them. These are really good shoes. I'm excited about these. But I did get a couple of non-shoe items, just a couple. We're going to show you those. First non-shoe thing we only got 2 non-shoe things. I pretty much walked out, and I wasn't anticipating buying that much. So I actually just kind of went wandering through the store. I found the Hokas, and I thought, you know what, I'll just grab a couple more things. No big deal. I didn't have a basket, didn't have a cart. I ended up walking out, my arms all trying to lug all these things. And so when I have like half a dozen pair of shoes, why not add a winter jacket to the mix, right? Look at this thing. There's no branding on this. This is just a generic winter kind of puffer zip up. I think it's officially a puffer. You can tell the tag, it's made in the USA, and the tag, I mean, there's no brand on this thing. It's not branded. I don't know who made this. There is on the back an RN number, and I recently learned that you can look up information through the RN number. So I'm going to try that later and see what I can find out about this. So right now, I have no comps. I just know that vintage sells and cool colorways sell. This, I don't know how well it's translating. This is a cool, like, neon pink. It's like if somebody took salmon and made it neon. It's really, really cool. And it's got brute power written across there. It's got the buttons and the zip. You flip around the back. Again, brute power. So I don't know. I don't know what this is worth. I'm guessing 30, 35 bucks maybe. We'll see. But I paid $6 for it. It's a large, which is pretty good. And we'll see. I'll look up that RN number, see if we can find any information about it. But otherwise, I'll just put it up and we'll see what happens. It was just too cool to leave behind. And the last thing that we got, this one, a bolo for you. Keep an eye out. You've gotten a couple bolos now, right? We got Hoka 1-1. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for New Balance, made in the USA. And finishing the trifecta. Now my dog's barking. Finishing the trifecta for us. These were half off, $7.99. So I got them for $4. These are, and you won't be able to see the whole thing on these, but you might be able to see that. These are Boy Scouts of America. This is an official Boy Scouts thing. It's got the official Boy Scouts tag, convertible uniform pants. So these are like leaders' pants. These are women's pants. It's a ladies 14. And so I think that's a little bit different. Yeah, you may or may not know, Boy Scout stuff tends to be relatively collectible or desirable if people just need it, right? They need the uniform. These do not, I'm going to inspect them closer, but these do not appear to be even worn. You can also tell, the condition tells me that, but also the bottom here, I'm going to guess they sent them out this way because this looks like factory. They didn't hem them, so you can just hem them to length, I guess. I'll look more into it and double check that that's what's going on here, but this looks like factory stitching. Everything matches, so I think you're just supposed to hem these to length. But the cool thing about these two is they are convertible. So they're like cargo pants, but they've got a zipper down here, and you can zip off the bottom half of the pant leg. So all of a sudden now you got Boy Scout shorts. So keep an eye out for Boy Scout. These, like I said, these $7.99, got them on sale. So they were $4, and the comps on these pretty good, especially if they're new or like new. You can get about $30 for these plus shipping, and these will I would venture to guess, I've fit some pretty big things in there, so I would venture to guess that this will fit in a padded flat rate envelope. So $7.33, and that's out the door. So Boy Scouts of America, ladies, size 14 pants. Keep an eye out for those things. And that's our thrift haul. So guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I think the lighting on this one was a little screwy, so I apologize for that. But it just kind of fits in with the theme of the day, right? We're throwing the phone around. We've got bad lighting. The dog's barking. Yeah, life is happening. So I appreciate you tuning in for this thrift haul. I think I owe you some what sold coming up here. So I think we'll do some what solds in the coming week. But for now, that's what we got. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you haven't, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, comment on there. I love commenting with or chatting with folks that comment on there. I'm trying to do these things to help you out, to give you information that I've learned, so you can learn from my mistakes, so you can learn from the things that I pick up, because that's how I've started to figure this thing out. So I hope that's happening. I hope you guys are picking up some useful information from these. And until next time, we'll see you guys. Thanks. Bye.